Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 113. It's a little bit after midnight. I just closed out the last episode just to kind of button things up and not make this episode too long. So I am on an overnight trip. I started yesterday, which was Tuesday. I went to the office and hung around that area for a while. Went to the casino twice. I made $0 the first trip and 33 cents the second trip. And I felt like, you know what, I need to make more money than this. Instead of waiting until Wednesday to do our road trip, let's start it Tuesday evening. And so we did that. And I just recorded the segment. That was my first casino after I left home. And then it's after midnight now, so we're going to continue on. And from here on will be all Wednesday, that one Wednesday episode. So I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So crazy thing happened, actually. I was driving to this region, and a friend of mine called me, and he's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Well, I happen to be near you." And he's like, "Hey, man, I need to borrow $20. I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I'm playing so-and-so machine, and this is the situation, and I don't want to get up, and I'm out of money." I'm like, "All right," because I know it's ready to go. It just needs one or two more spins at a couple bucks a spin. So I walked up there. I put in a 20. I drove there first. I wasn't expecting to drive there first, but it wasn't that far out of my way, just minutes away. And put the money in the machine and hit it almost right away. And he handed me the voucher, and I handed him the profit portion of it. I don't care to take a couple dollars from him. It's not worth it. And then I was at this casino, and this is a place that I don't really like, and I don't really play. But I thought, since I'm already here, I might as well look around, look at some slots. And I found a couple plays. One was a $20 must-hit buy. One was a $60 must-hit buy. Played both of those. Made a little bit of money on each of them. And I ended ahead $69 on the slots. And then I went to play blackjack. And there were 3 kids at this table. The only good table that was open in the place. So I took a couple more laps, came back around. The kids were gone. And sat down and bought in for $300, and then this couple comes up to the table, and they buy in for micro quantities, like 100, 200, and they're betting like their whole stack every hand. And I'm like, well, this won't take long, because I'm buying for a small amount, but I'm playing a small amount, right? They're buying in for a small amount, and they're betting their whole stack. And of course, I was at that table for a long time, and they're still there. They still have money, and every hand they're tipping the dealer $5 each. So, more power to them, I guess. Whatever works for them. The only reason they even sat down at the table is they wanted a Red Bull and a Coke, and so they decided to sit down and play, or they wouldn't have even sat down. So whatever. But I played that table until we got into a situation where the count was really bad, because I was ready to leave almost right away when they sat down. I hadn't even played a hand yet, and I'm like, well, this thing goes negative. I'm not sticking around. But they stayed positive for a long time, and then finally went negative, and I ended up coloring up and leaving the table plus 487.50. So plus 487.50 on the blackjack, plus 69 on the slots. And we're moving on to another casino. Funny enough, I see shadows at that casino all the time, because it's just not a comfortable place for me to be. And I haven't really had that many problems, but I just dislike it very much. So anyway, we are moving on to another casino. We are hoping to at least repeat what we just did there, make some more money, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, 4 a.m. right now. Just leaving that place. I gotta tell you, I've had better sessions I had some of the slowest dealers, slowest players, and I'm in agony at these tables. So this place is checking ID now of everyone who comes in. And I asked them how long that was going to be. They said they don't know. Permanently. So permanently is probably not permanently, but that means for the foreseeable future, they're going to be checking everyone's ID. So, of course, I'm an AP. I'm not giving them my ID. So I brought my passport in. I wanted to see if a passport would work. And guess what? They have the proper scanner for a passport. So my picture still popped up on the screen. So that's a very bad sign. So right now, I'm just getting ready to leave here, move on to another casino. Like I said, it's about 4 a.m. And let me tell you about some sessions that I had in there. First of all, I want to say I got some friends who I got one friend who is doing a little broadcast on Discord, and he's playing 50 hands of poker at a time. I think $1 a hand, if I think I'm right, at $1 a hand. So 50 hands of video poker at a time, and he's streaming it, and I popped in there for a second. You guys are awesome. So just wanted to say that. So let me see here. Talked about the passport. I went in, looking around. I see one machine. I lose like $2 or $3 on that one. Play some blackjack, and so I sit at this blackjack table, low limit, but it's a stay 17 table, so I'm happy with that. Everything is good. As soon as I sit down, another guy sits down. And this guy looks exactly like a family member of mine. Like, exactly. Like, you'd have to look 2 or 3 times if you knew him to know it wasn't that person. So, but he was having terrible luck. I was having terrible luck. I bought in for 300, I want to say. I bought in, I think for 300. I think that makes sense. And started playing, and things just weren't going well for a long time. And then I had a call from Double Bubble, if you remember that name, and he was wondering if I could lend him some money. And I'm like, this is the same guy that I just met at the other casino, and I lent him $20 for a minute, and he turned it into over 100, and now he's out of money. So I'm going back and forth with him on the phone, and finally I decided just to leave the table. I had a negative count. He kept calling me, decided to stand up. So I stand up, and I'm ahead slightly. I'm ahead 112.50, and this guy sitting at the table is not happy now because I stood up and I'm walking away, and he thinks that I should be at the table so he can have good luck, even though he's been having terrible luck this whole time. So he has his money out. They're ready to turn the card over to put in front of him. He says to wait, and then she has to call the pit boss over, and it's this big deal. And they finally cancel his hand. He hadn't seen the card yet, and he got up and walked away. I'm like, sorry, dude. Nothing I could do. But my low for the session was only minus 25. My high for the session was plus 350, but I left ahead 112.50. Went back, played some slots, and then with those slots it's interesting because I was down like $2, and then I was up like 5 or 6 after the next play, and then I find a play that you never, ever, ever find. Like, I haven't found this play in 2 years, a year and a half at least, and I sit down, I can't believe my eyes. So I put in the $40 that I had, $45 I had, and play that one. And after I get up from that machine, I'm ahead $168. So it was under $1 a spin. Ended the session ahead $168 on slots. Went back to blackjack, played another low limit table. Ended up having to move tables because it got crowded. Played the other one. As soon as I get to the second table, this Indian guy, like from India, Stands. I'm at third base. He's leaning on the chair at center field, you could call it, or second base. And he's just watching me for like half a shoot. I don't know if he's back counting, what he's doing, but he is not back counting because it's like a running -1 when he gets in. So he gets in and he buys in for, I think, $600. And by the time I left the table, he still had not won a hand. And I finally ended up leaving on a big negative, plus only $125. My low was -300. My high was +125. Couldn't make any money at either one. So the two blackjack sessions combined were plus, at that location, were plus $237.50, and the slot session was plus $168. And now we are going to move on to another location. I wanted to tell you too, at one of these tables, there was a guy who comes in, buys in for $125 in ones and fives. And I took a picture of it. I may publish it, but I have to do a lot of editing to take out stuff about the casino. But fives and tens, $125 in fives and tens. And you can see my measly $100 on the table. That was at the first table that I was at. He came to the table, then another person, and then a third person, and that's when I left. But he was nervous as hell, and honestly, something happened. He thought he lost his phone or something like that, and he was freaking out for a minute. So we have an idea of what kind of job he probably has, but who knows for sure. Anyway, I'm going to sit here for a minute and relax, and then we're going to move on to our next location, and I'll be back to update you. I mean, seriously, this is sick. All right, so I go in, I'm starting to look around, and I haven't seen anything yet, and Double Bubble's calling me again. Now he's like, well, I got this play, and this play, and this play, and this lady's playing this, and she's close, and she might be running out of money soon. Do you want to come over? I'm like, I can't go to that place. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. That guy's not here today. I'm like, are you kidding me? So now I left this casino before I finished looking at everything to run over to this other place for a okay play, but the promise of a maybe big play. And hopefully I don't get stopped and given the hassle. And hopefully when I get in there, we win. But it's like, what are you still doing out? I mean, I traveled to get here. I don't have a hotel room. I'm going to play as much as I can and try to make some money, which so far is not a lot of money. What is it, $800, $900, $1,000, whatever it might be? It's not that much money, and I'm far from home. I don't have my safety unless I'm inside a casino. Well, one of the casinos is asking me for ID. If I go back in there, I have to give them ID again. And one of them I don't want to go into because I don't want to give ID. And then this last one I hadn't even looked at yet. And, then I have to go a little bit further for the next one. But it's like, now I need to figure out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to this place, play these through. Hopefully there's something else for me to do there to make some money. And then I'll probably come back to the place that I was just at and hopefully make some money there. Maybe, there's a whole area that I haven't checked yet. So hopefully all this works out and it's not a big waste of time. But I don't like disorganization. I like having everything all lined up and ready to go and just going through my steps, going to my locations, making my money and getting out. But all this, come back, meet me, do this, I'm not a big fan of that. So anyway, all right, now that I'm done crying about it, I'm on my way there, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I'm back. I gotta tell you, these places now are like armor plated. They have so many cameras everywhere, facial recognition cameras, license plate readers, license plate readers on multiple levels. It's like, what is all this? So anyway, I did play the play that he found, and it was all right. Ended up after everything ahead $127. So that's all right. Now we're gonna move on back to where we were and see what we can do there. And he's gonna go waste this money. He said he's already down $600 today. He's gonna waste this couple bucks I gave him, and then he's gonna go home. You know, I mean, the sun is coming up. I mean, what are you still doing? So anyway, hopefully we can make some money at this spot, and maybe even get some blackjack in. I'm not really sure. I think only their high limit has 6 deck, but we'll take a look and see. Maybe we have a shot at making some money. So that's what's going on right now. I have to start considering getting some sleep also. There's a casino hour and a half and a casino 2.5 hours from here, and I need to think about if I want to go to one of those, or if I want to just stay in this area for now, and then see, the next shift doesn't come in for a long time. So I got to think about, am I going to see the same people again? He's calling me again. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So I moved on here, went to this casino, and actually I'm just leaving right now. The sun is already up. No sleep yet. Walked around, met up with some friends, walked around with them. Wasn't finding anything. Finally found a machine that I really don't like. It takes forever to hit. It's low denomination, but I still played it. Eventually I just got bored with it because it was just taking forever, and I left. It had 50 cents on it, so we call it $1, or nothing. And then went to look at the tables, and found a table I wanted to play, sat down and played that. And my low for the session was -600, and my high for the session was plus 650, and left plus 650 from that table. And that was really about it. Was in there for quite a while, and now we're gonna go to a place where I really should take a nap, but I'm kind of not tired. But when I was playing that slot, I was yawning quite a bit, but it was a very boring slot. But at this point, I'm thinking I should probably take at least a 30-minute nap. I don't know, we'll see. So we're gonna give it a shot here. We're gonna try to take a nap, and then we're gonna go play some blackjack, and maybe a little bit of slots, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back, and a wild roller coaster ride there. Just coming out to the parking garage. It's pretty dead in here right now. It's 9 a.m. and people are starting to arrive, it looks like. Anyway, walk in. As soon as I walk in, I see a guy sitting at a machine, and it's in beautiful, perfect position. It's $10 a spin, and he's just sitting there. He says hi. I said hello. I walk by. I'm like, this guy's not playing it. Maybe he's trying to make a deal or sell it or something, but obviously he's not going to play it. So maybe I should go back and talk to this guy. I go back and I said to the guy, are you playing that? And he's like, no, I was just messing around. I said, okay. He said, okay. He gets up, and I said, you mind if I play? He said, okay. He gets up. I sit down. I put $500 into it, and I end up leaving that machine down $280. And I was expecting, honestly, I thought it was going to be a W2 by the time everything was settled, and it just fizzled out and didn't make any money on it. So now I'm down 280, I go to play some blackjack, and I find perfect table. There's no one on there. I sit down. It's the beginning of a shoe. I make sure it's a new shoe. Everything is cool. Sit down. I play one hand. Guy comes to the table. He's got a stack of black chips and a few green, I think. So he had like maybe 750 or something like that. And he sits down and starts playing all the miscellaneous stuff, slowing down the game, complaining, and I'm losing, and the count's going up, and I'm losing. And I was spreading $15 to 400 on this table. No heat, no problem. They were taking out all the tip containers that had, the clear plastic glass stuff that has the tips in it. And so they were preoccupied with that. The pit was preoccupied with new cards for the day. Nobody was paying attention. And I'm sure security wasn't paying attention because they were watching those people get all the tip money and put it in the giant carts and wheel it away. But I'm rebuying and rebuying and rebuying. She's not calling it out to anybody. And I'm losing and I'm losing. I'm losing 200, 300, 300, 300. And eventually, and I'm going to count my money because I counted it before I went in there. I believe I was in for a total of $2,000. I actually switched tables twice. And the one table, the second table, this lady was probably like 55-ish, black lady, long fingernails, like attitude like you wouldn't believe. I walk up to the table, there's nobody there. I go to sit down, she's got two lammers sitting there, saving the seat for her. But she didn't want this dealer, she wanted to wait for another dealer. But it was his table. So anyway, I end up sitting down and starting to play, and she started to play too, because obviously she's not going to watch me and not participate. She wants part of the action. She just didn't want that dealer. So I get a 12 against a 2. I hit it. She gives the old and I lose, and I don't think it would have made a difference either way on that hand. And then there was a hand where I had a 16 against a 10. I stayed. And she ended up with two 20s because she'd gone to two hands. And we both won the hand. And she had an attitude about that one. And I ended up finally leaving that one. I was only at that table for probably 10, 15 minutes, something like that. Not very long at all. And went on to my third and final table. And that table was like on fire. Like I was winning hands that I didn't, have any business winning, and grinded back and came back and actually ended a shoe ahead $400. So ended my blackjack session ahead 400. And then I went back to slots and played a few other things, and I ended the slot session down 133. So plus 400 on the blackjack after about an hour of play, minus 133 on the slots. And we need to figure out what we're going to do, because the workday is starting, and I need to be active online. I need to get some sleep. I have a meeting in 2 hours, 2 hours, and so I got to get all this stuff figured out. I haven't even had a nap yet, so got to figure this out. I think what I'm going to do is drive to a grocery store, get some fruit or vegetables, because this beef broth, I don't think, well, I guess I could stretch it out, but I got like 9 hours, and there's just not enough here. 32 ounces is not enough. So I'll probably get some vegetables and eat that also today. And then hopefully tomorrow will be all beef broth, and go from there. So right now, looks like a foggy-ish day. It's very cloudy outside. A little bit gloomy, 62 degrees outside. The high here is only going to be like 74, so not expecting, sunshine and magic or anything like that. But I'm going to count my money real quick and then head off to the grocery store. If I need to update the totals here, I will let you know based on, I think I had the right number in my head, but I'm going to double check it right now. All right, guys, I am back. I did get some fuel a little while ago. I didn't mention it, but I needed fuel, got that, and moved on to another casino, went into the parking lot, and just took like a half-hour break, kind of gather my thoughts, relax a little bit, take a breath, and I found my heart actually pumping pretty fast. So I don't know what that means, but I did go into this place. I'm walking around looking, and I'm not finding anything. It's been so early. It's just so early, and nothing's really developed. And one thing that was kind of weird was a bunch of things were going on at the same time. I walk in, and security is calling someone to stop somebody from taking pictures and video, and it turned out to be their marketing person. And then I go find a friend in there and sit down, talk to him for a minute, and he's like, "Joe, in case I need you to give me some money, can you be here for me?" I'm like, "Dude, you're not going to need me to give you any. I see what you have in the machine. It should be enough." "You don't understand. I'm already down $250 plus this money." I'm like, "You're going to be fine." So I sit down next to him while talking to him. And the reason that he was playing that machine, even though it has some properties that make it beatable, is because one of the jackpots is unusually large, even though it's an uncapped jackpot, which means it can go on forever. He was chasing it, and he ended up losing like $240 on a minimum bet chasing this thing. So, but while I was sitting next to him, a guy comes over, black shirt on, it says loss prevention on it, and he sits on the machine kind of behind and next to me, and he's not looking for anyone, he's not waiting for anyone, he's just kind of looking at us. And I'm like, "I don't know why you're looking at us. We're not doing anything funny here." He's playing it, and I'm sitting next to him. So I actually had a conversation with this guy for a minute. He didn't really talk much, but then my friend finished his play, and I got up, I walked around some more. I said, "I'm just going to do one more lap here. I haven't found anything yet, but maybe I'll find a play." And I found one of the rarest plays you'll ever find. In fact, if I told people about it, they would say that, "No, I've never heard of that before. That's not a real thing." So, it was pretty much ready to go. And first spin, I got it. I put $10 in the machine and cashed out $52 and some change, and made a profit of $42 on that one. So now, the situation we find ourselves in, we've already walked over 10,000 steps for the day already. And I don't know how many yesterday, but quite a few. It's going to make this noise here in a second. But over 10,000 steps today. It's doing a commercial. And there it goes. Yesterday, like 7,000 steps, but we were sitting at the office most of the day. The problem is there's nothing to play right now anywhere, but some blackjack is opening up in about an hour, and I can stay in town for that, or I can just leave and hit something on the way home, hope to make some more money, and call it a day. But what I'd like to do, I think, is stick around and see if we can make some more money here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to park and sit in my car, take care of a little bit of personal stuff, work stuff, all that kind of stuff, get everything in line, get everything in order, and then go in, and when they open the blackjack tables, maybe like 20 minutes before they open the blackjack tables, go in, look around, see if I can find something to play, and then play the tables and get out of here. And if I do that, I should get home on time for my meeting tonight. So I think that's the route we're going to have to take. Another problem is, well, it's kind of a solution. I got a mouse jiggler, a new mouse jiggler, because the other one wasn't working. So I'm very happy with the way this one works. It just moves at like 1 or 2 pixels instead of back and forth. The problem is I need to have internet for it, otherwise it shows that I'm offline. So I think I'm going to look into Starlink or Verizon for a hotspot, and just keep this in my car, and then I don't have to worry about it, and then I can just look at my phone every once in a while, and the one in the car will show that I'm online all the time, and then between each shoe I can look at my phone and see if there's any updates. I think that's the route I'm going to take. So anyway, gonna hang out here for a while, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back, and it's almost sunny outside. Just got outside for the first time in a while. Already walked about 12,000 steps today, and it's still early. Just did so many things, went to so many places, went back and forth and back and forth. A little bit exhausting, but overall I'm doing fine. I got that half-hour rest. Other than that, I really didn't get anything else. But I did go into this casino, looked at slots for like half an hour, couldn't find anything. Finally found a play, lost like $4 on it, and then kept on going, looking, and no blackjack available. The few tables that were open were completely packed, and just not my thing. I'm not going to sit down at a table like that. And really couldn't find any opportunities. Finally, I did find a blackjack table, and I guess they had kept it open all night in an area all by itself, which is a little bit unusual, but I went over there, and there's a guy playing there, and he's only about a quarter of the way through the shoe. I decided to back count for a while to see if it got ridiculous, but it would need to get to like running plus 20 for me to even consider anything. But of course, it stayed about neutral first 5 or 6 hands. So I took another lap around the casino, came back, and he was wrapping up the shoe. I sat down. I bought in for 300, 300, and just had it's a low limit table. Going to be a little bit sweatier, and just did a small spread from 50 to 125, and I was there for maybe half an hour or so, and then things got bad, and I got up and left. And when I did, the other guy did too. It turns out that he was waiting for a poker table to open up, and they had called his name, and they were about to take his name off the list because he wouldn't come over. But the situation was he was down a couple thousand on this low limit table, and he must have had a heck of a time, because the biggest bet I saw in place was maybe $100, but overall like $25 bets. His downfall: 2 side bets, $25 each, and that's gonna kill you. He did hit one of them before he left, and I think he ended up leaving down about 1,200. I had a little bit of bad variance toward the end there, and ended up leaving ahead $200, and then on slots ended the session ahead $10. So plus 200 on the blackjack, plus 10 on the slots. We're going to continue on to another casino, and I think we're up almost 2,500 since we left. So that's pretty good. All that I could want. Interestingly, one of these casinos that I visited a few times, they were cleaning up and mopping up, and they must have like used some old water because that whole entrance area smells like old, nasty, swampy, old mop water. Just disgusting. You can hardly breathe walking through there, but yeah, I can say that a lot of crazy stuff has happened today, and I wish I could like stop in the middle of a situation and give you guys more information about what's going on, what somebody said or something. And that's why I'd love to get a camera, but it just seems like such a pain in the butt. Make sure it's charged, get the video, edit the video, you know, take people's faces out, all that kind of stuff. It just seems like too much. I'm not saying I'll never do it, but if I do it, I would probably just focus on just the blackjack part. So all right, we're going to continue on to our next casino. And oh yeah, I had a meeting at 11 and I was able to ignore that because it was canceled. So that actually gave me an extra hour of play today. So anyway, I'll be back. All right guys, I am back and moved on to the next location. And I go in, looking around, find a couple tiny plays, play those, pick up a few bucks, like 8 or 10 or 12, something like that. And then another play, and played that one through, and now I'm ahead like $70. And then everything else seems like it's, you know, taken, you know, there's no other plays. And then I find one play, and I have to look at it twice. And yeah, that's really what that is. And I sat down. I had bought in for a total of like $200, and I had a voucher for $269 at that point with my ups and downs. And I ended up cashing out $732 for a profit of $532. So very nice stop there, nice profit. I had free food, and I'm speeding. And there's a cop right there, and I hope I don't get pulled over because I was doing about 8 over, 10 over. I don't know if that's enough for him to pull me over. It doesn't look like he's pulling out, so you got lucky. Be careful, pal. I had some free food, and I didn't want any food, so I got some Snickers bars, some cough drops, and things like that. Couple drinks for next week, and everything is good. So I think we are close to $3,000 for the last 14 hours, something like that. And at this point, I'm getting a little tired, so I'm gonna head toward home at this point. We can do our segments; they'll be kind of quick. What did you eat today, MW? What did I eat today? Today I had some beef broth, and what else did I have? I thought I had something. I stopped for some vegetables. I got a couple cucumbers, and they're the smaller size ones, so they're not like they don't have that bitter taste. And had a couple of those, and that was my food for the day. Overall, pretty good. Overall, I'd give it a 10 on a scale of 2 through ace. It tasted good. It kept me full, and honestly, if I just had more beef broth, I would never have to eat anything because I do enjoy the beef broth. So the homemade one, anyway. And what did you tip today, MW? And actually, I was looking back at my list here. I believe I had 6 blackjack sessions. Let me see, 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I had 6 7? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 blackjack sessions. So, yeah, that's so we had plenty of opportunity to tip, and we had plenty of ups and downs, and we tipped a total of $0. $0 tipped today. And interestingly, I did go to the casino that has the ID scanner stuff going on right now. They're scanning everybody's ID, and I took my passport in instead of my driver license, but alas, their machine was able to scan that, and it still brought up my picture, my age, and everything. So that's not good. And actually, when I first walked in there, they're like, "Hey, doesn't he look like that undercover guy we got in the back?" So allegedly, there's a guy that looks similar to me who works undercover at the casino. So I'll keep my eyes open for that guy and see if I can find him sometime. But yeah, overall, pretty decent. Gonna head home. I'll probably have enough time for a little nap, and then take a shower and go to my meeting. Should be fine. So I'm excited. We had a good day. Tomorrow is going to be another long one, so I need to make sure that I get to sleep early, hopefully by 9:30 or 10 at the latest. Get up by 5:30 tomorrow, and we'll head out and hopefully rinse and repeat the process. So that's what's going on right now. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.